Morning. It's Tuesday, February 15th. And yesterday, in my favorite channel, YouTube, I caught a video that had been produced by WIVB.com, which is Channel 4 in Buffalo somewhere. And this was a video talking to the protesters who were rallying against the Canadian trucker mandate near the Peace Bridge in Buffalo. They were not against the truckers. They were against the people who were trying to get the truckers off the blockade. All of these people, every one of them that was interviewed, spoke about rights. Their right. I have the right to not vaccinate. I have the right to stand here and protest. I have those rights. Those are my individual rights. They're in the Constitution that I have it. Freedom of speech, etc. And these were young people and older people and fat people and skinny people. And they were there with their signs protesting the fact that the Canadians were being removed from the bridge so traffic could continue. And I look at this thing and I say, there is something wrong with rights. When you look at the rights, when you talk about freedom of speech, and we know that you can't yell fire in a movie theater, right? So there are limits to these rights. And I'm thinking, what can we do about the people who are so fixated on their rights that they are doing wrong, that they are putting large segments of society in danger? Is it right that a non-vaccinated person walks around without a mask when he can infect many people if he happens to get sick and doesn't realize it? Or what happens if he feels great, but he tests positive, but his immune system is terrific, so he doesn't feel any symptom, but he's out there spreading a disease? So what can you do about that? Can we have a law? Can we create a law that says if you put people in danger, you are liable for some penalty? Maybe you have to pay their medical expenses. Maybe you have to pay their funeral expenses. Maybe you have to take care of their children if you have caused somebody to die. How about something like that? What if there was some law in place to protect the rights of those manage to follow let's call them the rules and the regulations that have been set up to save everybody's life? Let's not stand behind the rights of ourselves, of our human rights, when we put others in danger, in severe danger, families. If you exercise your rights and invalidate the rights of those families, there should be punishments out there. There should be something tangible that those people who think that they have the right to do anything, do what they want. Maybe they should be able to do what they want, but not in any public place. They can do what they want in their own home. They don't have to wear a mask in their living room. But certainly, if you're not vaccinated, and you have no intention of getting vaccinated, and you're hanging out at these protests with all these other people who are not vaccinated, what do you think the chances are of you getting sick? I'll tell you the chances. They are greater than the people who are vaccinated, and greater than the people who are wearing masks. So why? Why is this continuing to be a battle? Why do we hang on so tightly to these individual rights to the detriment of those who bent to the fight against COVID and Delta and Omicron? Why are we hanging on? 75% of the people in this country are prepared to give up their rights, get vaccinated for the sake of everybody else, get their children vaccinated. 25% say no. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. I am going to run around unvaccinated, stand here in a protest with 50 or 100 other people, and granted, this is a peaceful protest. This is not one of those mobs where I've gone rioting and storming the Capitol and stuff. This is a peaceful protest. This is an honest protest. These people believe in what they are doing. These people are out there defending the rights of the Canadian truck drivers. A noble cause under usual circumstances, but are not a noble cause when they are putting the population of the United States and the population of Canada at risk. And their own people, the people who are surrounding them, who are not vaccinated. I am willing to bet you that if we got this group of 100 people or so together in a couple of days, I am willing to bet that several of them are positive and have infected several others who are at this thing. The odds are in my favor, or I was to make a bet at a bookmaker's on that. So I don't understand why we don't recognize that sometimes rights are wrong. And maybe that's all because this country at one time was fairly liberal, and we had developed this insanity about our rights. So now, when we need to step back and realize that being a person who is defending the rights is doing wrong, it is very wrong not to mask mandate, very wrong not to maintain your social distancing, very wrong not to wear your mask in public places. Very wrong to go to areas and gather with many people and not be vaccinated. That is a terrible thing you are doing. You are extending the virus's life. Now this virus, I am sure it's going to be with us for a long time. I am sure that we are going to have to treat this like the flu, like measles, like chickenpox, like polio, that we're all going to have to get COVID vaccine once a year or something to stay healthy. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But if we pile up enough dead bodies and enough people who are infected, it will give us an idea of what's liable to happen. But those of you who continue to fight for your individual rights will not recognize the dangers that you have put upon the rest of society. This is a dangerous business you're playing with. Fighting for your rights, maintaining that you have rights, standing there with a smile at the Peace Bridge in Buffalo, and saying all these wonderful things about the rights in the great country we live in, and the mere fact that I am allowed to stand here and tell you I have rights. And how many people at that bridge, and how many people at the Canadian bridge, on the Canadian side of this, going to be infected after this is all done? And will we hear about it? Will the newspapers and the newsreels and the television stations, will they announce anything like that? I hope so. I hope so. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyhow, that's what I have to say this morning. All rights are not necessarily right. Many rights are wrong or become wrong when you exercise them. So I leave you with that this morning.